Hey everybody, perimeter and area review tonight. You might hear my kids in the background. They are going to sleep. My wife is being amazing and putting them all to bed. I will go in and give them kisses and sing them a song, a beautiful song. Maybe I'll have my daughter come and sing some Frozen 2 to you. But right now, let's focus on our perimeter and area review. All right, my favorite thing to do when I talk about perimeter is to point out that there is this special word in here, rim. All right, like the rim of a hoop, the outer edge, the rim. All right, the rim of a volcano. All right, the edge, and then I also point out that this T is kind of like plus. Add up the rim. All right, and then area is the space that it takes up. And I'm just going to indicate how we measure these. On this sheet where we have a grid paper, typically we think of the side of one of the boxes of the grid paper as being 1 unit. All right, and that is just a single unit of length. And then if we extend that unit in the perpendicular direction there, so if we're going horizontal, we go there vertically, and fill out this box here, okay, then we create 1 square unit. So there's a unit versus a square unit, and in that box, that's the space that's taken up by a box that is 1 unit by 1 unit. So we call that 1 square unit. All right, so the edge, just the edge of the box is 1 unit, and then the inside space that's taken up is 1 unit squared, or 1 square unit. All right, so we're going to measure this, and we're going to see how many square units fit in each of these, and also how many units fit around the rim of each shape. So let's start on this L here. Let's start with perimeter. All right, we're just going to add up the outside. So if we look on this left side here, looks like that's 1, 2, 3 units. So that's 3 units. Then we have the top here is just 1 unit. This little side piece is 2 units. There you go, 1 unit. Here is 1 unit. And down the bottom is 2 units. So let's add those up. This bottom 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 units of length around the outside. Now let's fill in the boxes inside to find the area. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. So 4 square units of space have been taken up by this shape, so that means that the area is going to be 4 units squared, or we call it 4 square units as well. All right, units, just measurements of length, are you could put to the first power. We just don't usually write it because it's just 1 dimension. And then area, since it's 2 dimension, length and a width, and the space that's taken up by the shape that has a length of 1 and a width of 1, then that's why it's 2 dimensions, and we put a square there for the 2 dimensions. All right, now let's go on to this more regular shape of a rectangle. Okay, this is when it's more regular, you start to see like little patterns that you can do, so you can take shortcuts. Let's just do it the long way. Well, the perimeter for this first one, we have 2 at the top, 4 on the side, 2 over here, and 4 over here. Sometimes you'll see 2L plus 2W, or 2 lengths, right? 2 lengths plus 2 widths gives you the perimeter, or we can just count them up, add them up. Like we talked about earlier, 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 2 is 8, plus 4 is going to be 12. All right, so the 12 units, not square units, because we're just measuring length, a just one-dimensional measurement. And we got the area next, and we can fill those in. Now again, you can probably see for yourself that there's a shortcut, and rather than just counting them individually and getting 8, you can see that there's 2 rows of 4, or 4 rows of 2. So area for a rectangle, you can just do the length times the width, the 1 dimension times the other dimension of the side lengths. So which 2 times 4 is 8, which is what we got. Oh, I did a bad thing. I did not label my area. So this is units squared there. And there we go. Now we're done. All right. This next one brings up some little issues. We don't actually know. We can't actually find out some of the side lengths of this shape. When on grid paper, when you have lines that go directly on the grid lines, they're easier to figure out for sure. This one's 1, 2, 3, 4 by 4, and then this length here we don't actually know. It looks like kind of like 4, but it's not. It's a little bit longer than that. So we could say maybe approximately 4, maybe 4.5, something like that. But we can't know for sure. So we can get an approximation here of the perimeter of 4 plus 4 is 8, plus another 4 is 12, plus 0.5 would be maybe 12.5, about. We're just estimating. If we had a ruler, we get a little bit better estimation, or something to measure it with, but we don't. Or if we had another rule, which you'll learn in 8th grade. And then let's do a quick approximation of the area as well. So if we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 full blocks, and it looks like these two could be put together to make a full block, and these two could be put together to make a full block. So that would be, we had the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units squared. Remember, square units. Oops, I didn't put my units here. 1 dimension versus 2 dimensions. Okay, so you might remember from previous lessons in 6th grade or in 7th grade that there is a formula for triangles as well, where we do 1/2 base times height. And you could get that by doing 4 times 4 is 16, then cutting that in half and getting 8. And the way to remember that is that for this nice triangle, you can think of it as, oh, we have this whole rectangle, or in this case a square as well, filled in. To get that, it's 4 rows of 4. 4 rows of 4, so if we do 4 times 4, that's 16, and then cut that in half, and that would be the 8 that we had before. Okay, now this is this circle here, circle-ish shape here, is where we're going in this chapter. So we're reviewing what area and perimeter is so that we can move forward and try to learn about circles. Well, this estimation gets very, very tricky. We don't typically have a ruler to measure the outside part of it, which we call the circumference. And it's very difficult to estimate this inner space for the area. So this gets tricky. We can count all these up, but then you have these little partial spots out here and little corners here and curves here, and it's just kind of crazy. So what we'll do is we really practice using formulas and using the measurements of different parts of the circle that are easier to find to then help us find the other measurements like area and the outer part called the circumference. Like the perimeter of a circle actually has another name, the circumference. Okay? All right, so there's our little intro. Hopefully it's helpful and we can get rocking and rolling tomorrow on circles.